Raise Happy Children Intensive, Week 6, Self-Respect. Week 6 Actions. Be respectful to your child and to yourself. Do what you love. That's being respectful to yourself. Forgive yourself and your child. Outline for this week's session. Self-respect. Helpful techniques for change. Practicing the skills of self-respect. Forgive yourself. Forgive your child. Self-respect. It can be quite a task to learn how to treat children with respect. To keep things in balance, you must also be sure to treat yourself with respect. If you have not been raised by respectful parents, this may involve changing your beliefs about yourself. Beliefs are just thoughts you think over and over, habitual thoughts. This helps you change the way you treat yourself and change the way you act and interact. Self-respect involves self-discovery. Pay attention to how you act, how you feel, and what you think to help you develop self-respect. I love to do this. It suits me. It's good for me to do this. It may be easy or not, but when you do what suits you, what you love, you easily remain at peace with yourself and your world. You're open to enjoyable experiences. You would learn this naturally from infancy onward with practice and inspiration, unless you were prevented. When you do what you love, you give your full attention to that task. Even jobs take on new dimensions. Wow, this is living. I get to read or ski, type, think, work outside, which I love, or which helps me build my strength, makes me feel good, and I get paid for it. Doing what suits you makes you feel good and makes you feel good about yourself. When you feel good about yourself, you feel like being good to your children. Make the best of your life. Who knows best whether something suits you or not, whether you are eager for an experience or wish to avoid it? You know best. You may have been trained to believe that someone else knows better than you do what you ought to do, your parents, your teachers. However, you are surely the one who can best be in touch with what you love to do and what satisfies and fulfills you. It seems to be true that when you do what you most enjoy, you not only have inspiration, you are also glad to do that extra work, which results in excellence. Your self-esteem, your self-respect is bound to soar when your efforts result in excellence. Self-respect can also be developed by believing in your own power to change your circumstances and experiences. This can be accomplished by changing what you think, what you believe, and how you act. This may sound like a huge task, but it may only take minor tweaks in what you think to be successful. These tweaks can profoundly affect your beliefs and thus your actions. Helpful techniques for change. One technique directs you to first observe how you treat yourself, how you treat others, how others treat you. Then you are asked to observe what happens in your life when you change your behavior. For example, if you do not allow yourself to let your anger out on anyone, but you deal with it in other ways, you might notice that much of the anger that others used to direct toward you has disappeared. If you cease being critical of others and start looking for and appreciating what's positive in them, you'll probably find that others seem to have good thoughts about you and treat you with respect. If you are glad to be of service to others, you find others happy to be of service to you. Greet the world with a friendly smile, and you find that smile reflected back at you. Renowned family therapist Virginia Satir also tells us, happily, it is possible to raise anyone's self-esteem, no matter what his age, since the feeling of unworthiness has been learned, it can be unlearned, and something new can be learned in its place. The possibility for this learning lasts from birth to death, so it is never too late. At any point in a person's life, he can begin to feel better about himself, knowing that change is possible, and wanting to do it are two first big steps. To develop good, strong self-esteem, besides learning what suits you, you can become aware of what you think about yourself. It's best to think good thoughts about yourself. When you catch yourself thinking bad thoughts about yourself, I'm always late and I hate to be late, you can change that thought. Well, maybe it won't matter if I'm late today. Maybe everyone will be late, or maybe something will come up so they can't start on time, or maybe my clock is wrong and I'm not late. Anyway, I'm doing better. I'm on time more often than I used to be. When you think, oh no, I'm such a pig, I ate that whole pint of ice cream, then add the thought, yes, I did eat that whole pint, but I can be very active this afternoon, and I probably won't eat anything else, at least not anything fattening. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Work with it so that you transform it to the way you want it to be. Realize that this moment, now, is when you have the power to make things different, even just by the way you think about them. Cease being critical of yourself. Pat your own back as much as possible. Be on the lookout for the good that you do. Yes, I did a great job on that. Or, I did okay with that, and next time I know I'll do better. I'm awful at this, but it doesn't really matter to me. Maybe I shouldn't do it anymore. I don't really like to do it. When your means of livelihood is unsatisfying, it's time to realize, I better find another way to make my living. This just depresses me. By raising and strengthening your self-esteem, you are developing into your own best friend, someone who is always there for you, who thinks and wishes the best for you, who loves you no matter what. In developing your self-respect, it can also be helpful to become aware which parts of you were absorbed from your parents without discrimination. Now you can decide which elements of your behavior you like and want to keep and which you wish to change because they no longer serve your needs. For example, fears most likely come in this category. They can be little nagging fears or anxieties. What will she think? Will the store be open? Am I going to be late? Or bigger fears, the fear of failure or the fear of success. All fears are limiting. When you decide that you don't want to be limited in this way, you can find your way beyond your fears. One simple path involves becoming aware that you are afraid and that you don't want to be. Fear is based on thoughts of what could go wrong. Then you feel very strong emotions, the emotions you will feel if this thought manifests. Simply change what you are thinking. Think a thought or thoughts that make you feel safe and secure. Think how you would like this situation to resolve itself. When we change that thought, all the rest changes. Last night I learned another technique I want to share. I learned it from John Assaraf. You may have heard of him in the movie The Secret. He says that when you have a negative thought or feeling, stop. You need to come to the present moment. Pause for 30 seconds. breathe deeply, stretch, and yawn a little. This resets your brain, and you can now focus on whatever positive focus seems good to you. Otherwise, negative thoughts and feelings make you want to freeze, flee, or fight. A very effective technique for changing emotions, as well as what you think, believe, and do, is called EFT, or tapping. I've released emotions in just one round of tapping. I'd recommend looking it up online and giving it a try. Another useful technique for changing thoughts directs you to say in your mind, cancel, 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 until you feel that thought and the associated emotions vanishing. Then replace the undesired thought with a pleasing thought, such as, my daughter is safe and having a good time. Repeat this process as often as needed to feel secure. Practicing the skills of respect. It's important, once you know what you need through your process of self-examination, to communicate these needs clearly when necessary. This is essential. Do not assume that others will read your mind. Even if they can, they might be too busy with other things. If you want to be sure someone knows, tell them. I'm feeling grumpy today. Please don't ask me for anything. I really don't want to go tonight. That's my favorite. When your children are not taking your needs into account, and when this causes a problem for you, realize and acknowledge that it is your problem and not theirs. It's up to you to solve it without causing suffering to anyone. It's very likely that your children do not even know what your needs are. You need to tell them. I have a headache, and that noise is making it worse. I really don't like it when my tools are left out. After you're sure that they understand your problem and that you need their help and cooperation, you can wait, leaving it to them to respond. When you ask for their cooperation to help solve your problem, you get an opportunity to practice trusting them, and they get a chance to practice being responsive and responsible human beings. Keep communication open with your children. If their solution doesn't satisfy you, you can share this with them in a respectful manner. Thanks for being so quiet, but even your whispering is bothering me. Maybe you could go outside or to another room, or maybe I should go to another room. Part of the practice of letting others know what you need is showing your appreciation when others behave in ways that please you, such as, I love it when I come home and the house is clean. I feel so good when you let me know what you need. Thanks for playing silently. My headache is gone now. Thanks for taking such good care of my tools. This nourishes the behavior you like and encourages the other person to behave that way more often. We all like to feel appreciated. When your kids ask you, Mommy, I want you to, and you're not sure about it, ask yourself, do I really want to? Does that suit me? When you think about it, do you feel good about it? Part of improving the quality of your self-esteem involves being as honest as you can, at least with yourself. Although you may have learned certain practices as a child, you can learn different ways of interacting, ways which are more suitable to you. Humans can be very adaptable. Although it is possible, it is not common for behavior patterns to completely change overnight. However, you can be confident that if you keep moving in the direction you wish to go, eventually you get there. If you keep practicing this new behavior, you can master it, and it can become second nature. Instead of making rules for yourself, which could make you feel guilty when you break them, use guidelines that support your values. Let them gently help you along your way. Guidelines can serve as reminders of the direction you want to go in, but they're flexible and can bend when you need them to. Finding your natural rhythm can be a supremely satisfying experience. Practice saying no to what you do not like, to what does not suit you. Use your creative force to create the good experiences you love. With determination and persistent practice, you can develop strong and unfailing self-respect, even if today you cannot possibly imagine it. You can move from low self-esteem to having good self-respect. From one who has made the journey, it is worth every effort. I wish you the best. You deserve it. Forgiveness, a key to free you from guilt. It's common to wish you had done things differently after receiving new knowledge. This can be a valuable learning experience, giving insights and causing you to change in ways you desire. However, you do yourself no great service when you punish yourself with guilt. Besides encouraging you to feel self-pity, guilt causes you to focus on the past. It prevents you from seeing the present clearly and deprives you of energy you need to actively improve the relationship between you and your child. Forgive yourself. You have just behaved in a way you no longer want to behave. Do not give in to the urge to feel guilty. This can down spiral into self-hatred. You could mentally beat yourself up. Just tell yourself that you'll get better at this. Go apologize. Ask if there is something you can do to make amends. This will help you remember to be respectful next time. Forgive yourself and move on. Sitting there and feeling bad about your limitations does not usually move you beyond them. Please do not hold on to guilt for anyone. If you feel guilty because of something you have read in this book, I hope you also become inspired to move out of it. Have compassion for yourself. Let go of your need to punish yourself. Take positive action to change your guilt-causing behavior. Of course, feeling guilty can be used as an opportunity to learn. You can become introspective, exploring, discovering what valuable lessons can be learned through this experience so that the guilt can leave you in peace. Remember, as the well-respected family therapist Virginia Satir tells us in her book, People Making, it will help you to realize that whatever may have happened in the past, it represented the best you knew how to do at the time. You must not blame yourself for being a traditional, well-functioning member of your culture. There's no reason for guilt in raising your children following cultural patterning. It was learned at a young age from your family and your community. It can be difficult to see cultural patterns even when you're trained to do so, especially when they are so much a part of you, an everyday occurrence taken for granted by everyone. Most people don't see cultural patterns, they live them. If you have used punishment to force your children to do what you ordered them to do, guilt can help motivate you to change that behavior. Even more effective is a determination to do your best not to hurt them anymore. Be sure to congratulate yourself every time you are successful in this. Look for opportunities to practice and improve your ability to behave in more satisfying ways. Forgive your child. Your child was very rude to you. Do not give in to your urge to punish them. Stop and think. Maybe something is bothering them. Maybe they're having a serious problem. Maybe you unconsciously did something to hurt them. Forgive them. Plan to talk with them when they have calmed down.